Okay, first of all, let me just say, let me get this out. I don't believe I can commune with the dead. I'm not trying to make some revelation or get everybody to follow me or whatever. But something really interesting has been happening to me over the past 6 months with my lucid dreaming. And that is people who have passed on in my life, such as my grandparents. They seem to appear in my dreams more. And when I become lucid and they are involved in the dreams turn from just kind of a vague, kind of, yeah, you're there, whatever, to more of a direct interaction with this person. And I honestly believe that it's more of me kind of exploring my own questions and kind of reflecting or projecting, I guess, my own theories. I went back to my grandparents' old pictures. We're talking about pictures back from the early 1900s, and even some from the late 1800s. Real primitive, pictures. And kind of looking back to where my grandparents were young or babies, and my mom was a baby, and things like that. Just kind of going back to all these photo albums and looking at all this different stuff and just being amazed at how times have changed. And doing so has kind of opened my mind to discussion, I guess, within myself as far as my lucid dreams are concerned, and talking with my grandparents about this kind of stuff. And some people would say that means that in some fashion, somehow the spirits of my grandparents are kind of talking to me. And you know what? That may be possible. I don't know. I really don't. But what I know now is that it's quite amazing the dialogue that I could have between myself and my grandpa. And I'll use a recent example. It was probably about 2 weeks ago. I was sitting in my grandparents' house, and they've been passed for about 14 years now. And I can remember the house. That was what triggered my lucid dream. As I was standing outside on the porch, and I heard the swing door, what do you call it, the outer glass door, whatever, open, and it had an unmistakable sound, the sound that just never seems to change. It never did, at least when I was growing up. It was the same sound. And I was sitting on the porch, and somebody opened that door. I became lucid right away, and that's what triggered it. So it was my grandpa standing at the door. He was holding the door open. He said, "Why don't you come in?" And a lot of times in my dreams, I will actually I'll acknowledge to myself that I'm lucid dreaming, just to make sure that I really am lucid dreaming, that it's not some distant feeling. So a lot of times I'll say to myself, I'm lucid dreaming, I'm in bed right now, it's Thursday or whatever, here I am, I'm in a lucid dream. I'm well aware of my surroundings. I'm dreaming. that sort of thing. So, typically when I do that and I announce that to myself, whoever's in the dream with me will just sort of, they'll either acknowledge it and say, yes, this is a dream, I'm not real, or whatever, or they'll just kind of laugh at me like, what are you talking about, and just kind of move on, which is a unique response, I guess. So, anyway, I go into my grandpa's living room. He had this really old TV, probably hadn't replaced it, I don't know, it's probably from the early 80s maybe, and it worked, but it was old. And I sat down in his chair, and he sat down over at his desk and did what he usually did. He would read the Bible, read the newspaper. He'd play the lottery a lot, so he'd be sitting there figuring out all his numbers and things like that. And all the smells, all the sights, all the sounds, everything just kind of came all back to me. And I'm pretty sure that was just me pulling memories into this dream. But as I'm sitting there just kind of enjoying, because it was really nice to be able to go back and remember this stuff so clearly. One of the advantages of lucid dreaming is that you can really experience and really feel these experiences, not just sit there in a room and, oh yeah, I remember. This is really coming at you. The smells, the sights, the sounds, everything. It's all like it's right there in front of you, like you step back in time and you're in that position. So it just, as I'm just sitting there kind of enjoying it, it was kind of like a rocking sort of chair. I'm just kind of rocking the chair back and forth, just kind of looking around at all the different stuff that was in the living room and remembering it like it was yesterday. All the pictures on the walls, the dust bunnies in the corner. I mean, things like that were just kind of there. It was amazing. And I'm just kind of smiling. My grandpa says to me, "What are you smiling about?" And I don't take on a dream like he doesn't know what's going on and I'm just going to play stupid. I flat out say, I'm just remembering the way things used to be, when you guys were alive. And he's like, yeah. He's like, this is good. I want you to keep experiencing this. So I asked him, I said, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. And he's like, sure, go ahead. And the first question that popped out of my mouth was, are you happy now? And he said, I'm extremely happy. I'm with my family. I'm in a better place right now. Everything is going great. I'm always with you. I'm always watching over you. I'm always there. So that response there could have been a couple things. That could have been my own beliefs kind of being projected onto the dream to comfort myself, to kind of acknowledge, oh yeah, there's an afterlife, oh yeah, there's a heaven and hell and all that other stuff. Whatever. Religion doesn't really matter. I'm not, starting a religious debate or anything, but that could have been me just reassuring myself. Well, I asked, my uncle was the oldest of the four kids, my mom's brother, and not much was really discussed with him, but there was a few things that he did, in his life. Probably I don't know the half of it, but I remember I asked him, are you proud of Lee? And he said, I'm not proud of everything that he did. And I asked him why, and he said because he hurt us a lot. He did a lot of hurtful things. And then I asked him, because my grandpa was in World War II, I said, do you think that being away at the war really affected things? And he said, honestly, I do, but I said, I think just Lee had his own way of doing things, and there wasn't anything that was going to change that. And the conversation, I can only just kind of summarize it. The conversation went real deep into if he was proud of me, my family. He never did get to meet my kids, so I kind of told him about my kids, and he laughed, and I told him that I remembered about fishing with him, and he says that those are some of his best memories and things like that. There was a lot going on in the dream, and I got really emotional, and I told him I really missed him, and I really wish that I could spend more time with him. I wish that I appreciated him more. There was a lot going back and forth in this lucid dream, and it was something that I could sit down on the couch and kind of think to myself, yeah, I regret all this stuff, but to actually experience it face to face with my grandpa in my dream, to see the expressions on his face, to hear his voice, I looked at his hands, and I could remember his hands. Isn't that weird? I could remember the little wrinkles in his hands, and he always had kind of longer nails, and I remembered that. And the ring that was on his finger, I remember that. All sorts of different things. I remember all that stuff. And that... the conversation that I had, that could be taken as, somehow the spirit was being channeled through my brain and he was talking to me or whatever. I don't know. That may be the case. It may not be. I mean, I don't know, and I'll probably never know. So, to me, it was an awesome dream, but my point is that that's happening to me more and more frequently. I'm able to have sort of intellectual conversations, and this may be my brain just making this stuff up, or kind of trying to draw information from somewhere and make predictions and calculations, and then just kind of, okay, here's the best guess of the answer. And that's possible. I don't know. I really don't know. We don't know enough about the brain to really figure that out yet, but I think it's really amazing how far I can go in a lucid dream, and remembering my family and the conversations and the places and things like that. It's just totally, oh man, it's hard to explain. If you don't know, you won't understand until you really have experienced that for the first time. So that was sort of what I wanted to kind of talk about, was that my family, my passed on family, seems to appear in my dreams more and more. And when I'm lucid, I'm able to have conversations with them, not just a simple "hi, how you doing." These are real one-on-one conversations that I'm having with them. So anyway, that's a good thing. That's pretty much it for that.